I'm just taking a minute to soak in this beautiful nature that I'm surrounded in. That's my house right there. That's my house. And so this is the beautiful nature that we get to be surrounded in. I grew up in the forest and the prairie. I'm from Chicagoland area in the United States. But so I grew up in the prairie and the forest, so this is a very different type of land than what I'm used to. So I'm just taking a moment to soak all of this in and look at literally in the space of like such a small area how many different plants there are. You can see that one, and like then there's these tall grasses. There's just so many different things growing in this little area. And so you might also hear my little doggy. He's taking this opportunity now that I'm further into the bush than I usually am in our yard. He's taking this opportunity to mosey around in the bush. But today I want to share a really important topic, which is this thing that might happen to you if you're on, I don't even want to say it just a twin flame journey. I don't know that this is unique just to twin flames. So whether you resonate with twin flames or not, or you're just on a conscious relationship journey, like our earthly journey is about how we relate to each other, ourselves, the world around us. So all journeys essentially are a spiritual journey or are a relating journey, and we're just exploring how we relate to different things, how this is me in a different form and I am that in a different form, like this idea of unity, of oneness. And so I'm going to talk about a personal topic today, which is that I truly believed in relationships that I couldn't have, and this was an underlying belief, so I can't say that I was like consciously aware of this by any means, but I didn't believe that I could have the person and also have myself. And so I got to a point on my own twin flame journey where I was leaving one relationship and I had made the decision to go back to my twin flame. So if you want to watch more about this story, you can watch it up here. I'll link it somewhere or check the description. Hello, puppy. Hello, puppy. You're very wet from being in the grass. Hello, puppy. You want to say hello? Oh, say hello. Yes. Okay. You want to come down now? Okay. You want to come down? Okay. Come down. There you go. Okay. Be on your way. So, for me, I was on a journey where I was leaving one relationship, trying to enter another relationship, which was my twin flame relationship. And I realized that I would be repeating history all over again if I jumped from one relationship to the next, right? And didn't give myself that time and space to heal and to become new again and to just be with myself and choose myself. And so I truly believed I had plans to meet my twin flame, James, if you don't already know. I had plans. I can hear his phone ringing in the background. That means he's around somewhere. I don't know where he is, but he's around somewhere. But I had plans to meet him back in, I'm trying to stay in front of the sun so you can still see my face. I had plans to meet him back in where he was working at the time. And I realized that that wasn't what was going to be best for me, that would put a lot of pressure on me to heal, and that I would feel very closed off and very trapped and very outside of myself if I made that decision. And so then what I was stuck between. You know, I felt like I had these two options in my life. And if you see your life through relationships, you'll understand this. But I felt like I had these two options, which was the karmic relationship or the twin flame. Taking away the labels, it was this person or this person. And I realized something really, really important. And I remember exactly where I was when this happened. I was in a hotel room, and I had made the decision, okay, I'm not gonna go back to my karmic partner. I'm not gonna go to my twin flame. I'm gonna go home back to the United States and be with myself. And so I thought for sure, 100%, without a doubt, my twin flame was never going to talk to me again. I was like, this is it. I have to say goodbye. The relationship is done completely. I don't know how I would ever or what would ever bring me back to South Africa. So I have to be okay with this, that like choosing me, and this was where my limiting belief came in, that choosing me meant I couldn't have the other person, or I couldn't have what I wanted. It's like the whole thing, you can't have your cake and eat it too type of a situation. Now this is a different scenario, but same concept. And so I truly believed, okay, this person's gonna hate me for the rest of their lives. Like they're never gonna talk to me again. They'll never forgive me. And I had to make that decision of choosing myself, knowing that that might be the case, that I might be ruining this relationship for the rest of my life. And I think a lot of twin flames who were either really empathetic as children, if you resonate as that, comment down below. But if you were really empathetic as a child, or if you had to self-abandon as a way to stay safe in your early relationships, that means like mom or dad were narcissistic, or mom and dad were abusive or neglectful, or they just were unsafe parents. They weren't emotionally regulated, which is a lot of us on this journey. But if that was your early childhood experience, you likely also adopted this belief that I can't have myself and have them too. And so what's really important about this scenario, James is calling me right now. Okay, I'm back. So many twin flames that experience that as an early childhood thing create this belief that I can't have myself, have them too. And so my specific scenario, what I had to come up against was this very real choosing scenario. And I've seen this in a few other twin flames. I worked with a twin flame who, her scenario was, if I talk to this person, if I am friends with this person, then my twin flame is never going to be with me because they've already expressed like a dislike in this person or whatever that might be. I've seen scenarios where the twin flame wants to be friends with the person but doesn't actually want to date them, and then they're choosing themselves. Where that limiting beliefs comes out is that if I choose myself and say, no, sorry, I don't actually want to be friends with you, I only want to date you, they're afraid that that's going to push the twin flame away because I can't have me and have you too, right? So it's this limiting belief that shows up in a number of ways in our relationships, in a number of ways, from childhood to, you know, when we can end the pattern. And so for me, it was very real. And I was sitting in the bathroom because I could not sleep. Like, for whatever reason, I was so ungrounded. I could not sleep, and I was terrified because I had never made this decision before. I'd never chosen myself first over somebody else in my life. And so it was a really big moment for me, and I was so scared. I remember the feeling so clearly. Like, I felt like I was an astronaut stepping out of the space shuttle with nothing tethering me to the spaceship. I remember so clearly. I was like, I didn't even know, like, and in that kind of vision that I had, that meditation, it was like the one person was one like planet, and the other person was the other planet, and I was going like past them into the unknown, to like literally the emptiness of space. And so it was really scary because I had no idea what was going to come from that place. And so the reason I'm making this video for you, and for myself, is to remind ourselves that you can actually have both. And so the way my story ended, I hope will give you some faith and some trust for your story, because what I realized when I chose myself was, yes, it did hurt my twin flame. And yes, it did cause him to have to look at some aspects of himself that were uncomfortable, and look at some aspects of himself that he might rather not look at. And then he also had to come to a place of forgiveness for me. He had to forgive me for leaving him, for choosing myself, right? Like, he had to look at, oh, it wasn't personal, it's not like I wasn't choosing him, it was that I was choosing myself, right? And because he was able to come to that realization within himself, he was able to come to a place of acceptance that it wasn't personal. What I was doing wasn't to hurt him. It was because I needed to, for once in my life, say Serena comes first over a man, over people, over everyone else's feelings, right? And so what I learned from that experience was, it took him a few days, maybe a week or so, to, really come to terms with the way that everything was playing out, and the fact that I really was going back to the United States, and that we really may never see each other again. And I think we both were really scared about that, because it's like when you meet your twin flame, this whole world opens up in front of you, and you see all the potential of your heart's like greatest desires. And then when you have to move into separation, not everybody, but when most people move into separation, it's like that world comes crashing down on you, and you don't know if you can believe in it again. You don't know if you were even meant to have this beautiful life that spirit showed you. And so for me, what I realized is that in the twin flame journey, the actual more, and this is where unity consciousness and oneness consciousness comes from, is the actual more, and it makes me emotional when I'm like thinking about it, but the actual more, I'll get to the point, I promise. The actual more that I keep choosing, and even to this day, the more and more I choose myself, the more and more I'm choosing this relationship, and I'm choosing my twin flame. And sometimes through our human lens, it seems counterintuitive, but the more you choose yourself, the more you are actually choosing them. And when I went back home and like chose my healing, chose my path, my twin flame came back into the picture, and we started talking regularly. We had phone calls, video calls. We were talking on messages. We would leave each other like 20-minute voice messages to tell each other what was going on, what was coming up in our lives, and what we were moving through. And so it was such a healing moment for me, because in order to prove your limiting beliefs wrong, you actually have to, most of the time, live them out, right? You have to make the choice that scares you the absolute most, and know and trust and believe that what is meant for you is going to be meant for you. So if this point in your journey, you're in the twin flame journey, and this point in your journey, it looks like I have to say goodbye to them forever, that's what I thought I was doing. I thought, without a shadow of a doubt, 100%, he was never going to talk to me again. And I truly believed that, but it didn't matter, because I needed to choose me. So if you're at that point and you believe whatever that choice is for you, without a shadow of a doubt, they will never talk to you again. You still need to choose you, and you need to be open to the fact that maybe things are different than what you believe. And maybe that choosing yourself is the thing that's actually going to bring you closer to them. So I hope my story can help you. I hope it can show you that there are always other possibilities than what we believe, right? We might think it's this option or it's this option, when in reality, it's you, and it's always been you, and it will always be you. And so if you can look at your journey through those lenses and say, okay, it's me, it's always going to be me. How do I get closer to myself? How do I deepen my trust with myself? How do I expand my love with myself? How do I create the most solid, beautiful relationship with myself which is also the universe, right? So you can use all of these things interchangeably because it's so clear in the twin flame dynamic that you, your twin flame, and the universe, all of these things are interchangeable. The more you choose you, the more you choose them. The more you choose yourself, the more you're choosing the universe. The more you choose the universe, the more you're choosing yourself. It's like it's one in the same. You cannot separate them. And so the most beautiful thing that you can do on this journey is truly to honor yourself. And when you honor yourself, you honor everybody around you. So I hope this video brought you some inspiration today. I hope it's going to help you make the hard decisions. I hope it's going to help you choose yourself more often. If you're looking for more love and support on this journey, you can check the links down below. I have a beautiful twin flame community where we meet every other week on a live webinar, and of course discuss all things twin flames and conscious relationships and spiritual awakening. And then I also have one-on-one mentorship and then also a group program. So if you'd like to get on the wait list for my one-on-one mentorship or my my group program, all the links are down there for you to find. I love you guys so much. I hope you're having an amazing day wherever you find yourself, and I hope you come back and visit me again soon. Big love, Serena.